9.5 hours of live motorsport. Don't tell me that motorsport in this country is not in good form. It is in fine form. Classes 3 and 4, Tradezone GTR. Here we go.
Yeah, that's correct, Greg. We're divided up by speed, so not so much by what the car is. You can build anything you want at home. There's no rules. Lay your checkbook on the table pretty much, but whatever tyre, suspension, you can put a V8 in a Mini if you want. When you come to the track, you rip around here, and the cut-off time for these boys to get up into the fast group's about a 46. So if they go faster than that, these front guys will end up in GT2, and then a 40 for GT2 to GT1. So you drive, the class is divided up by performance of the driver and the car, rather than the leaderage and what car it is.
I love it. And you're with us basically for the back end of the tour. You're here this weekend. We'll see you at places like Taupo, Manfield and so on. If you love your cars and you're watching our coverage today, you are guaranteed to find something here that you will like. And we'll see classes 1 and 2 a little later in our coverage today. GTR by definition, Gran Turismo racing, but you have kind of taken that, just to reiterate what you said before, anything goes.
Anything goes, mate. As you can see here, I don't even think these two cars are the same, mate. How often around the world do you see this?
Awesome. Brought to you by Tradezone, this first race, GTRNZ 3 and 4. We're scheduled for 6 laps, little Ford Mondeo.
Yep, anything goes, and who knows if it's even got the Ford motor in it. You just never know of these things. The things these guys come up with at home is unbelievable.
We'll show you a little bit later in the day as well, a cool little Datsun 1200 that has been beautifully made. You were involved in the handiwork on that car, and you've actually put a Speedway engine in a speed car or midget engine power, haven't you?
Yeah, it has Andrew Stewart from Palmerston North there decided to go that way. Ironically, it had a rotary in it to start with, and he's taken that out and put the little Speedway motor in it, so I don't know if it's better or faster, but very, very, very different, mate, and beautiful little car. As you can see, they're very well presented cars. Most of these are built at home, so not professional teams. Some of them have read books, some of them haven't, some of them have just chucked it together, and let's see what happens.
Okay, we've got a little delay here, folks. There's a couple of them just laid out of the lane, so just bear with us in terms of getting set for racing here. We want to make sure everyone's nice and safe in their grid sports. Quickly, for people that are interested in this, best way to go about finding out more is you can go to your website, can't you?
Yeah, definitely. If you jump on GTRNZ.co.nz, the website there, all the information's there, all the rules. There is no rules really. There's just a basic breakout rule. You can run whatever tyres and whatever you want. Obviously, safety's the important bit with our hands devices and bits and pieces and stuff like that. So put your hand in the lottery, grab whatever car you want to do, mate, chuck some. The gruntier your motor, the better, obviously, Greg. Yes. And then let's see you at the track and go to it.
Good stuff. Nathan Anderson and Jamie Potts.
Jamie Potts, local boy from Palmerston North, mate, and that's got an LS V8 in it, that little wee Toyota there. So it's an old touring car lined up next to him. So we'll home built, maybe semi-professional.
Here we go. Rev start to rise. 6 laps, 30 cars in this first offering as a part of our big day here at Hampton Downs. And Potts has wrestled the lead. That's a cool car, that one.
Definitely, great start from him. And I think you'll find the touring car, if it's better brakes and suspension, will mow him down the back straight after turn 1 here. This is when all the horsepower counts, Greg.
A couple of fresh faces have joined the sport this weekend too. Lots for us to take in, but we love the fact that things are continuing to grow too.
Yeah, there's 47 cars on the grid here today, so that's huge considering they've had floods here a few weeks ago and bits and pieces. So to see all these guys out here racing and having some fun is great.
Of wild-looking machines as well. Some of them look, to the naked eye, more compact than what you might expect to, as we see a change of position for the lead here.
Yeah, the little Honda's obviously got up the inside down there at turn 2. So a little nimble Japanese car's better in the handling, but when they get to the big long straight, you'll see Aussie horsepower, American horsepower take over.
Now this is just, well, it was eavesdropping there on Motorsport New Zealand Race Control, and our cameras immediately picking up why, so...
A little bit of a spinner down there. I don't know if there's contact or not, or whether he's done it on his own. So the little Honda there, I believe that might have a turbocharger bolted on the front of it as well, so that's why I think we see him at the front. Oh no, another
Tony Hurst, yes, so drums with the BMW here, so the Alchemy Consulting entry just coming to a stop That seems mechanical, whatever's going on there. Potts remains in second place at the moment.
Yep, and here we go. They're just coming around the last corner, obviously, to come down the big, long straight. So that LS under the bonnet will pay big dividends as he hoons down the big straight here into turn one, then another time.
So just tell people what's going on here with the 26. At first glance, it's like an overgrown Aussie racing car, isn't it, basically?
Well, these are actually built before the Aussie racing cars turned up. So we're actually racing them around here quite a bit of time before them. A very, very nimble car, and you'll see them pass everybody around the outside under brakes, as you've just seen he's done to Brian Gray there. But then not quite in the horsepower stakes. So very even in this class for lap times, but very different way to produce the speed.
Shane Hoitana, have I got that correct in terms of pronunciation, leading the way in this one in the 25 from Jamie. We drift back and look at this this battle going on here. There's third place, Anderson, our pole sitter, Nathan Anderson in the Falcon.
Definitely, and as we see here, the little star cars actually do quite good. They'll be loving to get to the back of the circuit where all the corners are, and less straights the better for those boys. So the other thing with these guys, as you look through the field, the Star Cars had their own series here, and so did Brian Gray and the red RX-7 there used to be SS2000 years ago. So this class is all about, if the class finishes, you can bring your car along, line it up on the grid. No rules, Greg.
Yep.
No arguments, no protests. Easy.
Happy days.
Happy days.
Little throwback here in terms of rally paint scheme on one of the Nissans coming through. Is it a Nissan there?
It actually is a rally car.
Beautiful. Fantastic.
So he's chucked some dry weather tyres on it for the weekend, and this is his first time with us from the middle. Oh no, the little star car's around again, and we see this quite a bit in this class, Greg, where the guys biff it up the inside, don't see them coming, a little bit of rubbing, and the star car's turned around.
Okay, and I would imagine with that shorter kind of wheelbase, that can happen relatively easily.
Yeah, quite tricky little cars to drive. I've had a skid in a couple of them, and they're very nimble, but very on the edge.
Awesome. Why aren't you out there racing, and are you struggling? Are you okay? I'm checking in on you.
I might be getting a bit old, maybe.
Around goes that Pepsi Max looking entry, and I think that's Lewis Frayne, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, and not really in the ideal place. Everybody's managed to miss him, and I think his bumper's actually wedged up on the thing curb there.
So this car's obviously not going any further, and you can hear a little bit of chit-chat from Motorsport New Zealand Race Control in the background. So whether we'll get a safety car...
Yeah, the safety car flags are out. So yeah, unfortunately, they'll bunch them all up again. They'll get to go again. Hopefully we can get them off the track and they can restart the race. And the little Honda man will be frustrated. I've built myself a buffer, and now we're going to do a safety car restart down the straight, which should play into Jamie Potts' hands pretty nicely.
Certainly should. So the GR Supra safety car, typically driven by Nick Tolamash, who's wife Amanda, very much involved in the Toyota 86 series. She's the category manager there for them. So we'll let this field get kind of all bunched up and compressed. Let's have a little look here on the Super Sprint Motorsport New Zealand replay of the start. Now, the Falcon doesn't necessarily get the drive off the line, but as you rightly picked, the run down that back straight for the first time, it comes into its own, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely. And as you can see, they all spread out there. Qualifying was on a damp track, so the order might be muddled up here a little bit with the guys that run wets and the guys that run slick. So here we see, there was a bit of contact down the bottom end, trying to pass up the inside of the Waka Commodore, and looked like they've come together and has turned himself around.
Little tip of the hat to the livery that we saw back in the day from the likes of Mark Winterbottom and so on in his championship winning years and Bathurst winning years for what is now Tickford Racing. So that car is still not going anywhere, unfortunately. So hence the reason why we're under safety car here. Just a reminder too that a little bit later today we will be bringing you the knockout qualifying formula for the Castrol Toyota Formula Regional Oceania Championship. It's all about building to the New Zealand Grand Prix tomorrow. We have race one of that series a little later this afternoon, and in the twilight, Valvoline D1NZ drifting around Hampton Downs here, but there is the paddock area is jammed with all kinds of cool cars. The offering of categories here is amazing, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. And GTRNZ's got 60-odd cars entered across the 4 classes this weekend. Obviously, there's 2 classes in each group, so 2 different races. GT1 and 2 you'll see a bit later on in the day, which is the fast boys. And then obviously these guys are the feeder class to it. So fantastic to see people in New Zealand building cars at home and coming to the track racing again. The last 2 years, the grids have been a little bit skint with all the dramas around the world, like your boys in Aussie and stuff. So great to see these guys back, and then hopefully some bigger numbers across GT2 and 1 for the last couple of rounds.
Back with great strength. Just seeing the Mazda RX-7 come through screen. They're almost reminiscent of the kind of car that Alan Moffat ran back in the day in touring car racing in Australia. There's the safety car waiting to pick up the field. For people that haven't seen the GTRNZ class before, We talked about how you can find out more about it. What about a bit of backstory on its history, how long it's been around, and you've kind of been involved with the driving force of this, haven't you?
Yeah, we were there from the start. So what there was too many open saloon car categories in the North Island. So what we did is we all sat around the table, put our differences aside, and decided to start GTRNZ. So we brought 3 groups together, which was old Super Sedans, Super GT, and Oscar. So we stuck them all in the same grid, come up with a set of rules which was pretty basic. And about 12 years ago, we put all that together, and this is the class you see in front of you now. Rules were a big problem back then. Sometimes rules might even it up a little bit, but hey, we're weekend warriors, these boys, mate. There's not professional racing teams and stuff. These guys all come here to have a hell of a lot of fun with GTRNZ and Tradezone for supporting the category now for maybe 8 or 9 years as well.
Fantastic.
So to have a sponsor like that for a class like this in New Zealand across the last few years is awesome stuff.
I would imagine too, good fun away from the track with the kind of camaraderie and friendships that exist in the game.
Yeah, there is. GTRNZ always has their like their family barbecue on the Saturday night. They hand out the trophies from the last rounds, a few awards for a few things that go on. I see these guys are trying pretty hard. We actually have I think they have a pink jacket now that you win for something you've done across the week. You got to wear it for the barbecue and you can sign your name on it. We used to have a pink helmet, but it got too filled up, so we actually auctioned it off and gave the money to charity. So the class is doing a little bit all across the North Island here. So yeah, pretty good.
Awesome. There's the RX-7 we were just talking about coming through your screen. So safety car has picked up our race leader in the 25.
Yeah, definitely. Some of these RX-7s that come from SS2000 days, that was huge in New Zealand probably 12 years ago, the Group C RX-7s. Every man and his dog had one, obviously, and everybody wanted to be Alan Moffat. I had one when I was growing up, not quite a Group C one, but we've been a master man from back in the day. So to see what he did over here, we've been trying to do that in New Zealand here. So, yeah, great fun.
There's a...
Race radio. Safety car lights are out. No further weaving is permitted. The leader is to maintain the pace previously set by...
So if the safety car actually had a roll cage in it, Greg, he could actually start this race himself and try and win it.
It qualifies.
He does comply, he does comply. I don't know if the lights do, but...
So, Motorsport New Zealand race control, obviously feeling like that BMW, which is parked off to the left there of our shot down around the Golden Homes corner there, is safely out of harm's way. It's not on the racing line. So lights are out on the safety car. We're set to resume racing. We'll get a sense of just how many laps remain in this. We have a huge schedule today, so it's very likely we'll go time certain on this race, but we'll confirm that for you.
So here we go, Greg. Who's got the power? Here we go. The old touring car up the inside. And Jamie Potts coming down the outside in the LS-powered space frame Toyota Levin.
So people might be wondering about safety car restart rules for you guys. What happens there? Because in some classes, you've got to get to the control line before you can execute a pass like that.
Yes, we do. And we've seen there's been a bit of rubbing here. He's got broken suspension off the start. He's come together with the Honda. So we're the same deal as all the other classes. So once you get to control line, you can pass.
Mega. Back to the battle between Jamie Potts.
So after all the safety car and the racing, we're back to very much how we started the race. So there's 2 laps to go here, so hopefully that man can get his car out of the way and they can let the race finish off.
Replay of this might tell us what happened in relation to the damage on that. Oh, there you go. Wow. 2 wheels. It gets up on 2 wheels. But the reality of that situation is that it compressed. He was meat in the sandwich, wasn't he? And that's why there's damage to the left front.
Yeah, definitely. He's got a little bit of a squeeze here, not quite enough room, and run over the man's wheel. So hopefully they're both okay. Not a big accident, but obviously hard on the budgets in this class for these guys if they start smacking them up.
Good battle between Jamie Potts and Nathan Anderson. Anderson in the 70 was our pole sitter. So Potts, you can see the way the car squirrels as it kind of comes out of the corner and gets that power down.
So Anderson struggling for power down grip there, and we've seen the Honda. It wasn't too quick at the start of the race and come on really good. So has his tyre pressures the way they are, will he have the speed to take it on the last lap?
Now you've talked about how you use time, lap time, to sort of determine classes and so on. Is that reviewed post the first race, and what happens there?
Yeah, so these boys aren't allowed to break out, so if they go faster than a 46, I believe it's on this big track here, then they get a time penalty.
Okay.
So they get a choice whether to move up into the next class or stay where they are and take the penalty for this class. There is a little bit. There's a little bit of boxing that goes on.
More damage here to the 12 Honda.
Yeah, I think he's struggling to get around just to try and grab some points. So he's tied up with the Falcon. So very important for points, tight points buffer in this class. Obviously 1 round gone with 47 cars on the grid for tomorrow. Really important to grab as many as you can today before the handicap races.
Super cool. Look at this kind of modern Honda to your right of screen, and then the RX-7 still holding control there. We go back to the front of the field. Jamie Potts leads the way and has a couple of car lengths now. I love the movement in that car as it gets out of the corner, but it's game on here. Anderson under pressure in that fight for second.
And a little Honda and it's better handling straight around the outside there. So can he do it? I think Jamie Potts might have a big enough buffer now to get himself to the finish line first. The little Honda's a lot more nimble through the back of the circuit here. So pressure's on, Jamie, pressure's on.
Shane Hoitana there, getting up in that Honda. And it's been such a stable car, that, hasn't it, throughout this race? It seems to come on as the laps roll out here.
And here comes the Honda now, Greg. As you can see, the better handling of the front-wheel drive car. He needs to get a buffer down at the hairpin before they get to the big straight.
Couple of corners to go. Can Jamie Potts hang on here? Under brakes. Look at the way the front of that car almost points towards the sky, and then it pitches down under brakes. Final corner here at Hampton Downs. Can the little Honda get a good run out of this corner and set up a photo finish? Potts trying to hang on to it. It's got the inside line for the run to the flag here. Jamie Potts looks like he's going to win our first race of a huge day of motorsport as a part of the Super Sprint Motorsport New Zealand Championship. Great work.
Race radio.
So a little bit of rubbing through that one, Greg, but good finish. 47 cars on the grid. One little safety car glitch, but the boys are happy. Line them up in the pits, give them a polish. That's it for these boys today. They're back out tomorrow. A couple of reverse grid races and handicap races.
I know you guys don't like ifs, buts and maybes or shoulda, coulda, wouldas, but from Shane's perspective, ultimately he gets P2 in a very close finish. But had that safety car not happened, that Honda was in good shape, wasn't it?
Definitely. It's cost him the race win. And tomorrow he's off the back. So those fast boys will be at the back. They've got 45 odd cars to get through to get to the lead. So tomorrow's going to be a whole lot harder than today was.
You good people at home are going to thoroughly enjoy that as they fight their way through the field. Our pole sitter, Nathan Anderson, finishes in the top 3. It's a big job for our graphics operator because there are so many cars in this field. But we'll see you back as the coverage continues today as well, because we have GTRNZ GT1 and 2 to come, don't we?
Definitely.
What can people look forward to there in terms of cars and storylines?
Yeah, we've got some Trans Am cars in there. Kerry Jones has got a bit of a drama, so a lot more in the horsepower stakes. We're getting up towards the 700 to 1,000 horse in the GT1 boys, so GT2 and stuff. It'll be interesting. Not as many cars here, just 20 cars on the grid, so a lot more easier than the 47, obviously. So hopefully the weather stays good and the sun's out and these boys can go have some fun.
Some quick highlights before you leave us as the start. The replay of the start shows Jamie Potts getting the job done, but then Shane Hoitana in the Honda, the front-wheel drive Honda, coming to the fore. We saw a couple of cars go round, and that would trigger a safety car here. Yep. Dramas for Payne in the Max entry, the Falcon, and then this saw the left front badly damaged on that car. At the restart, Potts was busy. He was under threat once again.
He definitely was, and the Honda did everything he could to put it on the line, but just couldn't get him before the last corner, and the powerful LS V8 obviously blasts off and gets the win.
That's the way things started here at Hampton Downs. Some great racing still to come your way here today, and we're about to take you to pit lane, soaking it all up and gearing up for a big afternoon.
Thank you, Rusty. Golden Homes GTNZ Championship qualifying time. Look at this.